So to do this worksheet, what you're going to do is the first one you're going to start by deciding what kind of genotype this is. Is it heterozygous or is it homozygous? And if it's heterozygous, remember heterozygous means that the genotype, the two letters are different. You've got a capital and a lowercase. Homozygous is going to be that the letters are the same, either two capital letters or two lowercase letters. So what you would do is you're going to, if you look at this first one, big A, is that heterozygous or is it homozygous? Well, if you look, both of them are the same, so that would be H, O, I'm not good at drawing this with my fingers, so that would be homozygous, okay? If I go and do this one, notice how they are different, so that would be H, E for heterozygous, okay? So I'm going to get your teacher to pause this, and I want you to work out these. Now, for problem 2, you're looking at the genotypes and you're trying to figure out what the phenotypes are. So a phenotype, remember, is the actual expression of the trait. So you've got purple flowers are dominant to white flowers. So if I've got big P, if purple is dominant, then that's going to mean that these flowers are purple. Okay? All right, big P, little p. Remember, if it's a dominant trait, all I've got to have is one letter to be capitalized, and I'm going to still get that trait. So that's going to also be purple. And then lastly, you see little p, little p. Well, that's both recessive alleles, so that's going to give you white flowers. So I'm going to let the teacher pause it. I want you to do the other 3. Make sure you pay attention that this one right here, that says recessive, and it says long tails are dominant. It's written backwards from the way the other ones are written. Okay, for the last one here on this side, it says for each phenotype, list the genotypes. So you're given straight hair is dominant to curly hair. So I don't care what kind of letters you use. I normally take the trait that it's given. So I'm going to use S's. So we're going to start with a big S and a big S, because it can be homozygous dominant or it can be heterozygous dominant. So a big S and then a little s. And so the only way to get curly would be to have 2 little s's. All right? So I'm going to stop and I'm going to let you do the last one. Okay, now you've got to do Punnett squares. So you're going to take the information that we've been talking about, because you're looking at genotypes, and then we're going to be looking at phenotypes when we're trying to figure out our percentages. So it says set up the Punnett squares, the crosses listed below. Round seeds are dominant, wrinkled seeds are recessive. So we're going to set it up. We've got round, a heterozygous round, and I'm going to use a different color, and this is going to be a wrinkled, okay? And so what's going to happen is the big R is going to come down in all of these boxes, okay? I'm going to go ahead and fill in my purple letters, okay? And then the other parent's going to donate the green allele, okay? So if I look at this, it says what percentage of the offspring will be round? Well, to be round, remember round is the dominant trait, and round has to have a big R in it. So your percentage of round are going to be these right here. So what percent are round? 50%. All right, so let's look at the next one. It says big R little r times big R little r. So we're looking at two heterozygous. So we've got big R little r times another big R little r. All right. So here's I'm going to go ahead and use my green. So here's the one parent contributing his genotype. And now let's go to the other parent. And I like to write my capital letters first. Okay, so if you look at that, it says what percent of the offspring will be round. Now going back up here, it says what traits that round is the dominant. So if I have a big R, it doesn't matter if I have two or if I have one. And if you notice right here, I've got 3 that are round. So that's going to be 75%. Okay, I'm not good at drawing these percents here. All right, so then my last one, I've got a homozygous dominant. So big R, with a heterozygous, big R, little r. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my purple ones. And it doesn't matter which parent comes first. Like I said, I just like to always keep my capital letters first. Now the question that's been cut off, it's going to say what percent are going to be round. And if you noticed, I've got all big R's in all 4 blocks, so we're going to have 100% that are going to be round. Okay? So now it's time for you to do your work. And what I want you to do, you've got to show your work for all of these.
Women and men track team to the gym. Women and men track team to the gym. And those are active members, please.
So what you need to do is draw a Punnett square off to the side, or you can do it on a separate sheet of paper for each one. And you need to cross them. So make sure you're crossing. Now, if it's asking you for purple and white flowers, go back and look at the data that we had on the other sheet. That will help you with finding out those genotypes and phenotypes. But this is what I want you to finish and complete before we and turn in at the end of class.